Neil, this really does look like a real piece of kit. I mean, we all know about the G50 Matchless, but the Seeley special that Colin Seeley built, tell us a bit about it and about your passion, because I know you're a very, very keen Seeley man.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, this is a 1969 Mark III Seeley. Colin made several Marks, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The Mark III actually was ultimately the most popular one and perhaps the most successful. Big thing about a Seeley frame, incredibly light compared with the standard frame, and just handles a dream. This particular one, as I said, it's a G50, which is the 500. It's got a Quave 6-speed gearbox in it, which for the original ones had 4. The 6-speed gives it way more tractable, makes it way more useful. It also has a belt drive these days. For the primary, we used to use a chain on the primary, which was, in those days, we used to change the chain every single race. Because it used to stretch so much you couldn't use it for the second time. But also in those days, God bless him, Reynolds used to give me a box of chain 25 foot at a time. So it wasn't quite so bad.
Yeah.
This particular bike, it's used all the time. It's probably been out 10-15 times this season. I use it all the time. It was used last weekend actually at Croft when it was loaned to Alex George, who rode it really well because it went fantastic to see Alex on the bike.
Yeah. So
it's a well-used bike. None of our bikes are show bikes, they're all racing bikes. We're here today, but they are racing bikes. I had my first Seeley in 1960. Got to get this right now, wait a minute. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 1971, my first Seeley. I couldn't afford a complete bike at the time, so I bought a rolling chassis and put a BSA Gold Star engine in it, because it was cheaper than the G50, and I had loads of Gold Stars at the time. I know I have 7 Seeleys. I'm in the process of putting an 8th one together at the minute. So, being a Seeley fan all my life, Colin was a great friend of mine, known him for many years, and I love Seeleys.
Yeah, well, I mean, they really are fabulous, and Colin's mark that he put on them is fantastic. And as you say, he was a friend of yours, and we miss seeing Colin here at Stafford.
Very much.
But thankfully, his memory lingers on with his machinery, and of course his history as a sidecar racer, and as somebody who's keen on scrambling, I remember reading about him being a scrambler in his very early days.
Yeah, Colin did all sorts. He scrambled, he trials. He originally raced his father's Vincent 1000 in sidecar, and that's kind of got him on into sidecar. And he finished second in the World Championship in the sidecar, so he was an excellent racer. And he started building sidecar frames, chassis, and people came along and said, well, can you build me a solo? And the solo chassis, these just took off.
Yeah. Neil, you've obviously got so much knowledge of the bikes that you love, but we're all waiting to hear it because it's a real nostalgic sound, the G50. But what's special about this is not just the lovely motor of the G50, but the lovely Seeley chassis and everything that the bike demonstrates. So thank you once again for bringing it, and we look forward to hearing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, the actual seat.
Fabulous, Neil. Let's have a big hand for that wonderful piece of British engineering, the Seeley Matchless G50. Thank you.